Benny Hill, a name synonymous with laughter, a true comedic genius, he brought joy to millions. For decades, his unique brand of humor captivated audiences worldwide. Hill's career spanned over 40 years. From the 1950s to the 1990s, he was a constant presence on television screens. His show, The Benny Hill Show, became a global phenomenon. It was a mix of slapstick wordplay and cheeky innuendo. Hill's comedic timing was impeccable. He could deliver a punchline with expert precision. Hill's comedy was often outrageous and over the top. He wasn't afraid to push boundaries. This sometimes sparked controversy, but it also made his work unforgettable. His sketches were filled with larger-than-life characters. They were often caught in absurd situations. There was always a playful innocence to Hill's humor. He never took himself too seriously, and that's what made him so endearing. Hill's comedy was all about physical humor. He was a master of slapstick. He could trip over a rake like nobody's business. His chases were legendary. He'd run through parks, streets, and even swimming pools, all while being pursued by a gaggle of buxom women. It was ridiculous, of course, but that was the point. Hill's comedy was never meant to be taken seriously. It was pure escapism. Hill's sketches were often parodies of everyday life. He'd poke fun at authority figures. He'd lampoon social conventions. And he'd always find the humor in the mundane. One of his most famous sketches involved a milkman. Hill's milkman was a clumsy character. He'd spill milk everywhere. He'd get chased by dogs. And he'd always end up in some sort of predicament. It was classic Hill. Hill's humor wasn't just physical. He was also a gifted wordsmith. He loved puns. He'd use them in his sketches, songs, and even his introductions. Hill's wordplay was clever. It added another layer to his comedy. It showed that he was more than just a slapstick comedian. He was a comedic all-rounder. He could make you laugh with a pratfall or a well-placed pun. He was a true master of his craft. Hill's impact on comedy is undeniable. He influenced countless comedians. His work can be seen in the slapstick of Mr. Bean. It's also evident in the surreal humor of Monty Python. Hill's legacy extends beyond British comedy. His influence can be seen in American shows like Saturday Night Live. Hill's fast-paced visual style paved the way for music videos and internet humor. Hill's work continues to resonate with audiences today. His sketches are still funny, his characters are still memorable, and his jokes are still relevant. Hill's comedy was timeless. It tapped into a universal sense of humor. He understood that laughter is a language everyone understands. Hill's comedy may seem a bit dated to some, but his influence on modern comedy is clear. Many comedians today use elements of Hill's style. They use physical humor, fast-paced editing, and cheeky innuendo. Of course, they do it in their own way, but the influence is there. Hill's legacy is one of laughter and innovation. He showed that comedy could be both silly and sophisticated. He proved that sometimes all you need is a funny walk and a mischievous grin to make people laugh. Benny Hill was a true comedic pioneer. He pushed the boundaries of humor. He made us laugh with his slapstick, his wordplay, and his cheeky charm. His work is timeless. It continues to entertain audiences of all ages. Hill's legacy is one of laughter and innovation. He left an indelible mark on the world of comedy. His influence can still be seen today. Hill's comedy reminds us that sometimes the best way to deal with life's absurdities is to laugh at them. He taught us that it's okay to be silly, it's okay to embrace the ridiculous, and it's okay to laugh until your sides hurt. Hill's humor was a gift to the world. It's a gift that keeps on giving. So the next time you need a good laugh, remember the comedic genius of Benny Hill. Watch a few of his sketches, and let yourself be transported to a world of slapstick and silliness. It's a world where anything can happen, and where laughter is always the best medicine.